Hello and welcome to Freedom Through Astrology, where we're giving you the keys. That's freedomthroughastrology.com. I'm your astrologer. My name is Donald Patak. There's my contact information and copyright, standard YouTube copyright. Yeah, I apologize for this being so late, aside from a job that I'm finishing up this week and will no longer be working at. I have a new career coming up. All this AI junk that they've put into this, that, and every other thing with my most recent update on my laptop has really screwed things up and slowed things down. I am not happy with this. Nonetheless, I'm your astrologer. And the keys to the reading, because Freedom Through Astrology is about giving you the keys to you becoming who you really came here to become. First of all, I use constellational astrology. Plain and simple, that's astrology by the visible sky. It's the way the ancients practiced astrology. Tropical astrology fixes the signs to seasons. I'm asking the question, where is it really? Because the last time Aries was at 0 degrees on the horizon was somewhere in early 220s AD. We're living in 2024. The sky changes. It's called precession of the equinox. It's how we get into the age of Pisces and Aquarius, which tropical astrology will never achieve. I use the natural size of the constellations. The constellations, actually, if you go stargazing, and I'm an amateur astronomer, they are all different sizes. Virgo is huge, nearly 48, just over 48 degrees in the sky. Scorpio, Libra, Cancer, Aries, they're all less than 25 degrees apiece. You know, to put them together, they're somewhere in the realm of just under 100 degrees of the sky. The constellations are all different sizes. I respect that. I use astrological midpoints as opposed to the IAU boundaries. Why? And this will tie into my next point. The IAU boundaries are just drawn. Nobody sat down and asked what was really there. They just drew. And by the IAU boundary, when you go into the constellation of Ophiuchus, just after the sun crosses that border, and you really zoom in on those stars, they have an interesting name, Scorpius. Technically, the IAU cut into Scorpio and gave it to Ophiuchus. No dice there. Athens Shementi noticed this, and he made a correction where he uses the zodiac belt, last bright stars of constellation A versus first bright stars of constellation B, found the midpoint. And it's fair, and it works. I think it works better. And you heard me mention it, Ophiuchus. What is Ophiuchus? It is the missing sign. If you actually pay attention to the calendar, there are 13 new moons in a year. Well, 13 moons, 13 signs. It is there in the sky because if you do, again, look at the zodiac belt and you look where Scorpio ends and you look where Sagittarius begins, there is a gap. That's Ophiuchus. It's the sign of the wounded healer. The symbol is of a man holding a snake by the head and the tail. In ancient times, the snake symbolized knowledge. So this is a person who's got knowledge by the head and tail, using knowledge to do what? Heal. The mythos is about you learning to heal yourself. So it's the wounded healer. It's where you're wounded so that you can learn to heal. These are the weekly editions of the forecast. These are universal lessons for all people. I use evolutionary astrology, which says these are lessons to learn. There's a high road and there's a low road. I try to paint out both of them for you. My dates and times are based on the Eastern U.S. time zone, whatever that happens to be. I don't understand daylight savings. I don't see how cutting time off, I like the indigenous story of taking a blanket, cutting a foot off the bottom of it, and adding it to the top, and somehow that makes a longer blanket. It's just a disaster. We need to adopt solar noon. My degrees of exact, I'm operating within 1 degree of exactness, which is why they are the way they are. And I was asked about the software, and the software I use is Capricorn by Prometheus. Hold on a second. These are the weekly transits for the week of December 23rd through 29th, 2024. Yes, I'm late with this because of work and technical difficulties. Our sun currently is in Sagittarius, so opportunity. The moon this week begins the week in Virgo and ends in Sagittarius. In fact, most of the week it is in Virgo. Yay. Active planets. From last week, Venus and the sun are very active. When we get to the chart, I'll explain it. But this week, the planet that's most active is Mercury. Learning and communication. Venus and the sun, this is about relationships, and this is your sun is your ego or your core identity. And the outer planets, Jupiter and Saturn are the big players this week, along with the nodes of the moon. Power transits, these are outer planets that are making long transits, typically. And I do mean long. Pluto in the North Node, we're going to be dealing with this through a good chunk through December. I think it started in December. And deep into January, we also are dealing with a Jupiter squaring Saturn, a little asterisk because there's a special one there that's really powerful. Station direct this week, Chiron. Chiron moves out of retrograde or reflection and into station direct. So you may feel a little stuck on your healing journey this weekend. That's fine because you're going to move forwards in it, which is nice. And last but not least, retrograde or reflection. That's what retrograde really means, is it's a time of reflection. Jupiter, opportunities, and Uranus, your individuality or authenticity. Interesting, both of them are in Taurus right now. So, there we go. So, let me pull up my little drawing doodle. This week is interesting. I mean, it's pretty steady all week, but we get these two chunks here. And draw this out like this. Whoops. It's okay. I have Kit on my lap. That's my kitten distraction for the week. So as you can see, the beginning of the week, Monday and Tuesday, we're really just finishing out last week. We also had the exact of the Jupiter-Saturn square. Christmas Day, we get a little break. That's what that XP stands for. In Greek, X is Chi, and the P is actually the letter, what looks like letter P is really the letter R in Greek, Rho, Kiro, Christ, Christmas. So the 25th is Christmas Day. And then really starting very late Wednesday night, Eastern time, through Thursday and the weekend, you can see it really picks up. The big day of the week is Friday. We get the moon entering Scorpio. Mercury enters Ophiuchus, and we have two other transits beginning, and we have an exact, what is that? Oh yeah, that's Mercury squaring. So really the busy, powerful day of the week is Friday. Delete, clear all drawings, close that out. And the moon is actually, as you can see up here in the beginning, up here at the top, the moon, we begin in Virgo. We go like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in Virgo. Thursday, it finally steps into Libra. Friday, Scorpio. Saturday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, emotionally very busy. And then Sunday, it goes into Sagittarius. And I think that's later on Sunday, it jumps into Sagittarius. So let me get my notes ready here. Yeah. And we begin with, excuse me, Pluto in a sextile to the north node of the moon. And it will be I really got to fix this drawing up. And it will be in a trine to the south node very soon. But Pluto is our wonderful planet of transformation. And in Capricorn, it's doing the work of transformation. So this is doing the transformational work, and you're releasing right now. The North Node is your destiny or life purpose, or let me just double check my notes here. Yeah, your soul intentions. And in Pisces, we're looking at being present with them. So you're doing the work of releasing distractions of, here and working towards your soul's intentions. So you're releasing what's not real to you, honestly, and what's not serving your purpose. And really, this belongs. No. Still got to fix up this mouse button. Really, this belongs down here, so it looks like more of a sextile. I messed that up a while. I got to fix that drawing up one of these weeks. But the way you transform is by learning to be present instead of being in the past or the future, caught up in fantasies and delusions or daydreaming, is by learning to be in that present moment. So you transform yourself by learning to be present. That's the important lesson here. Shadow Pluto, Pluto can be very constructive as a planet in helping you to transform. It can be very destructive as well. And in Capricorn, it can be a control freak. And you're trying to control freak others, which is usually not a good thing. Let me see. Just want to check some other notes on Capricorn, just because. Yeah, workaholic, lonely. Yeah, there's just the shadow of Capricorn in general is it's one of our darker signs when it comes to the shadow there. And being a workaholic, trying to maintain the status quo, and with the North Node in Pisces, you're ignoring your life's purpose, and you're falling into some fantasy that you've either already achieved it or that you can't achieve it at all. So why bother trying? Or thinking that you micromanage and control everything. Capricorn really likes to micromanage things if in the shadow. So be careful of becoming bitter and cynical about your efforts and becoming lost in meaningless pursuits, things that you can't do anything about. This is a very long transit. It goes exact actually in January, I believe, and it ends in January 2025. I can't believe we're talking about 2025 already. This is our other power transit, is the square between Jupiter, opportunity, and dreaming. Squares are challenges. Let me start out with that. Actually, squares are challenges, and their purpose is to strengthen you. So this is the challenge of dreaming and Jupiter dreaming and Saturn doing. It's nice to sit down and dream, but you got to get up and do something if you're going to achieve those dreams. And the question here is, with these opportunities, are they bringing you peace? And is what you're doing bringing you being in Aquarius is authenticity? Are you becoming more authentic? Are your dreams authentic to you, and are the actions that you're taking making you and helping you to become more of who you really are? Let's see, what do I have scoodled here? New word there, scoodled. See how becoming more authentic or being true to yourself can bring opportunities for peace, self-respect, and dignity. Look at what you can learn from wisdom and peace in order to find strength, and grab opportunities when they show up, because they can bring unexpected success. So grabbing these opportunities when you get them, it can bring success, peace, strength, stability, authenticity. Very powerful. Now, the shadow of this, Jupiter can be over or underconfident and getting so lost in these dreams so lost in dreaming that in fact, and I say fantasizing, that's really not the wrong word, but can get so lost in its ideals that it doesn't ever accomplish anything. And Saturn can become very bitter and cynical and feel overwhelmed. This can be the lazy dreamer, and this can be overwhelmed. And the shadow of Aquarius is one of two things. Either you sell out to try to fit in because don't think you can ever achieve it, and you're never going to fit in, so why bother trying? Or you're acting out to get a reaction from people, and that's the shadow of the square, which is crushing and defeating you. So yeah, that's one thing. Excuse me. One thing that we actually do need to be very careful of here. So looking for the easy way out or questioning, doubting yourself can lead to you becoming someone other than who you really are. And also be careful of giving away your power, because that would be misleading as well. So yeah, the key thing here, it's okay to dream. Are these dreams authentic to you? Are they bringing you peace and stability? And are they helping you become who you really are? And that's very important. So those are our two power transits. And that goes exact on Christmas Eve and ends next week. Yeah. And we have T square that actually ended on Monday. late Monday, I think, Monday into Tuesday possibly. But it's the sun, and this is a square to the North Node, and this is the sun in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is about opportunity, having faith. The sun in Sagittarius is about you learning to have faith in yourself. And again, this North Node thing, the North Node in Pisces, North Node, your intention and purpose for your life at this time, and learning to be present. So, are you are you learning to trust yourself? And this again, the square here is designed to strengthen you. Are you facing those challenges and releasing those things that are distracting you from being present? Are you trusting yourself to being in that moment? Very, very important. So be aware of past patterns and how they held you back from achieving your dreams. Look for that rut that shows up and slows you up. Be careful of that. The shadow, Sagittarius, the sun can be very egotistical. Or it can be that star that refuses to shine. And so it can be egotistical and overconfident, or refusing to shine and underconfident. In which case, when it hits that North Node in Pisces, I'm already, you can think that you're actually made more progress than you have, or that you can't ever achieve it, so why bother trying? So either which way, the square here becomes crushing. It becomes a stumbling block and follows you into failure. So over under confidence and looking for a better plan, or over planning, has you stuck. Not good. Did I forget to put the South Node in there? Okay, that's the North Node. The South Node, the Sun squaring the South Node. The South Node, oops. So this is getting caught in fantasy. And the Sun squaring the South Node. I don't know if I put that in here. No. Okay, a minute. Yeah, there it is. Just tells you where my brain is. That's right. I've got this in chronological order this time. The moon enters Virgo on Saturday. The aim here emotionally is for you to feel, let me find this here. There we go. My notes are in one order. My slides are in a different order for some reason. Go figure. Moon in Virgo, the moon, your emotional self, Virgo, desiring to improve and knowing that, hey, I have to take efforts and take steps to get better. So this is that. So let go of what no longer working for you and finding new ways to achieve. Look at how others accept responsibility, ideas, and how you can improve. So this is a feeling that you can improve yourself emotionally. Now the shadow here, we all know how irrational and emotional the moon gets and getting out of control. And in Virgo, it gets to be that control freak by over planning. What else do my notes say in Virgo? I just want to double check that. Yeah, over planning, negativity, self-punishing. It's just overwhelming darkness. I hate to say that, but here getting moody and caught in bitterness is a bad thing. Here's the other half. So the North Node, looking for the easy way out. The South Sun in the South Node. Again, the Sun is your core identity, developing trust and confidence in yourself, and you're releasing. The South Node is old habits and old patterns that held you back. And with it being in Virgo, that's that over planning and trying to control things and what have you. That thing is like, I can't succeed at this. And it's letting that go. And this makes that T-square. And you can see that I've drawn this out where you have the square here. And then there's you have the square, the 90-degree angle here. See if I can draw this in. And the 90-degree angle there. So your identity here is literally caught between a rock and a hard place, caught between the past and the future. Are you willing to let go of this past and this way things used to be so that you can get to a better place in that it can arrive for you in the future? I don't want this in red. What color is not used? Ooh, yellow? Doesn't stand out as well. Yeah, it's sort of better. Okay. But are you willing to let go of the past so you can move into the future? And that's the ideal here, is that you're doing that, is that you're releasing the past, releasing these old patterns so that you can step into new patterns and new habits that can help you grow and become a better version of yourself. All right, there we go. Sunday, Venus in Capricorn, sextiling Chiron, retrograde in Pisces. And remember, retrograde means reflection. So this is reflecting on healing. So literally, Venus, sextiling Chiron, just at a basic here, Venus is about relationships and creativity, and Chiron's on healing. And in Capricorn, Venus in Capricorn, are you doing the work of building your relationships or working on your own creativity? And for the record, and I will say this, and I will say this on the record, learning how to code or learning how to program, quote unquote, program or create things using AI is not creativity at all. There's exactly zero amount of your spirit in that thing. You know, I can go off on a rant on AI because I think it's garbage. I think it's actually doing more damage than it's doing good. But are you working on improving your relationships? Are you working on improving your own creativity? Because Venus is about relationships, it's also about the arts. And in the sextile, this excitement in Chiron to Pisces is about releasing the wounds. How is this work? How is this work you're doing? Is it helping you release the wounds of the past? Is it helping you to release the blockages that were standing in the way? Blockages would be more of a square, right? Never mind. Is it helping you to release those things that would hold you back? So let me see what I have here for my notes. Look how you can put more effort into healing relationships by being present and being with people you are with. Being in the moment with people can be rewarding, and being in the moment with your creativity is also very healing and very rewarding. Because if you're caught in the past or the future, you're not paying attention to the now, and that's where you're actually living, and that's where you're actually creating. Okay to daydream about the future, but your actions have to be here now today to make that future happen. And the shadow, Venus can be slick and manipulative. And in Capricorn, that's a control freak, a real control freak. And the shadow of Chiron is wounding. And you start, first person that gets wounded is yourself. And then when you're dealing with relationships, that's other people's. So other people, your friends and other people. Is what you're doing here. The shadow here is you taking actions that actually wounds relationships or undermines or damages your creativity. And you're living in this fantasy that, hey, this is all going to work out great in the end. And it actually doesn't. Let's see, trying to control others leads to wounds in relationships and more distance and deception. So yeah, very much so not something you want to experience. Yeah. And Monday. So hopefully Monday, these were last week's transits. Monday and Tuesday, last week's transits were working themselves out and releasing. So there was a few of them that were letting go. The Sun and the T square to the nodes, the Venus and Chiron, all were releasing. So Monday and Tuesday, take a breath. Remember to exhale, repeat. Late Wednesday, I think this on my calculations or by Prometheus, and here in the Eastern time zone, I just got to move my leg. It's starting to cramp up, girl. You're okay. Is Mercury is in Scorpio, is opposite Jupiter retrograde in Taurus. Mercury, learning, communication, and being open-minded. In Scorpio, depth, exploring things that you're curious about in depth. And Jupiter in Taurus. Jupiter is opportunity, and Taurus finding peace and stability. And an opposition is reflection. It's also balance. Here, reflection speaks to me more, so I'm going to go with that reflection. So is what you're learning, reflect on what you're learning, and is this bringing you peace and stability? Is it providing you opportunity for peace and stability in your life? Yeah. So yeah, is it doing that? And as you're exploring this information deeply, or you're maybe perhaps communicating on a deeper level, is this bringing you peace and stability? Is it providing you opportunities for that? So take time and reflect on that. Let's see what do I have. Learn to balance learning and opportunities for peace. Also look at how you're communicating and examining if it's bringing strength and stability to your life. Is what you're learning giving you strength and stability? And that's the thing, and that's that balance that you need. Because otherwise, the shadow of an opposition is a tug of war. You want to learn stuff and you really want to dig deep, and Mercury in Scorpio, two shadows here. Um, Mercury can be a know-it-all and just get itself too caught up in what it's learning, or thinking that it knows it all, it doesn't have to learn. Or it can get in Scorpio, it can get so far lost in the forest, in the trees, that it can't see the forest. We're so lost in the forest, you can't see the trees. Whatever. It gets so lost in the details and the minutia that it can't really see the big picture. Jupiter is very much a big picture planet, I think. And so that's that. Or the other shadow of Mercury is thinking you can't learn it all and just getting overwhelmed and bitter and cynical and moody. That's definitely Scorpio. And the shadow of Jupiter, overconfidence. In one case, it's overconfidence, thinking, yeah, I can handle this, nothing to worry about. And the other one is underconfidence. And in Taurus, why bother? I can't do it. Why put the effort in? And so this could actually damage learning, damage or destroy your ability to learn and achieve. And be very, if you do learn something, it's very shallow and superficial. It's like using a calculator and thinking that you know how to do math. No, you know how to push buttons. I had a foreign exchange student tell me that he was doing math faster by pen and paper than his classmates were doing it using a calculator. And we were talking, and the student asked me, "It's like American students in math. The math class is all about calculator. When do you actually learn how to do that?" So it's just thinking that you're learning something when really you're not. It's superficial and shallow. So where is that? So being lost in information can lead to overconfidence and a false sense of strength, or being a know-it-all can lead to laziness, loss of opportunity, or also just giving up and not thinking you can learn it all can lead to laziness and just giving up on the world. That's Wednesday. Thursday, this gets to be interesting. And let me get my doodle tool here. Because you can see that I'm just going to draw this in black here. Because you still have this square here. We have a T-square here. And I'm going to explain this, then I'll jump into the T-square. But Mercury in Scorpio is in square to Saturn in Aquarius. So Mercury in Scorpio, what are you learning about? What you're focusing on? What are you digging in and exploring? And the challenge here, is this helping you become more authentic? I'll give you an example. When I first went to college, I was going to be a math major. And I dug into it. Biggest mistake I made. I should have gone right into history. I would have done better. I was digging deep into something that wasn't authentic to me, and I didn't do well, honestly. So the challenge here is what you are learning and what are you deeply exploring. Is this more authentic to you? And what is it revealing to you that is not authentic that you can let go of so that you can become more of who you really are? Because that's the aim of Sagittarius, or not Sagittarius, of Saturn and Saturn in Aquarius, is for you to do the work of becoming a more authentic person. So understanding how deep learning communication can strengthen your growth and becoming your true you. Accept the challenges as opportunities to grow, because that's what a square is. Squares are challenges that are designed to strengthen you. And remember, at the same time, we do have the opposition to Jupiter going on, and Jupiter is squaring Saturn. Caught between this rock and a hard place of opportunity and learning is your authenticity. And that's the big challenge here. So, and if you look at it, it's kind of a person picking up like a dumbbell, I'm trying to do it one-handed, but I'll draw this in. Like to thank Xena for this analogy here. That's awesome. If you successfully navigate this and you're learning to pick it up and work with it,
what gets strengthened is your authenticity and you becoming more of who you really are. And that's the great challenge here. Barring that, you get crushed by all this knowledge, and you crushed by this knowledge and this, the over or under confidence and being lazy about things, and that sabotages you becoming who you really are. Thursday, we also have the moon entering Libra. What did I have here? Oh, I'm going to go back a second. Because, like I said, the shadow here of getting lost in information or refusing to learn can have you becoming less of who you really are. It's possible to feel under pressure or crushed by the burdens of information. That's the shadow of the square of Mercury to Saturn. Is you getting so lost in this information and you don't know what to do to it, and you just get overwhelmed and crushed and gone. There we go. Now, on Thursday, with the moon enters Libra, emotionally, things are going to be a little ambiguous. That's what Libra is about. It's about the scales. And you remember from science class when you had the scale and you put something on one side, you put the object on one side, and you put your weights on the other side, and you were trying to get it to balance. It did that teeter-totter thing. So you're going to have a little emotional teeter-totter on Thursday and into Friday for a little bit. Things are going to be a little paradoxical and feel a little out of balance. That's okay. Let them be. Embrace paradox and release the need for life to make sense at this time. It's okay for feelings of ambiguity and for things to feel a little out of whack. That's all right. That's only temporary, and that things will pass. Okay? The shadow, we do know that the moon gets to be moody and in Libra, out of balance, out of whack, indecisive. Moody and indecisive, eck. So being indecisive can lead to feelings of insecurity and feeling out of balance in life. Not the thing you really want to have. So do learn to tolerate a little ambiguity. It'll be okay. Friday, our busy day of the week with things happening. I'm not sure if I actually have these in proper chronological order, but these things will all be happening on Friday. Mercury is going to enter Ophiuchus. And remember, Mercury is the planet of learning and communication. Ophiuchus is the symbol or the sign of the wounded healer. So you're going to be learning to heal your ability to learn and communicate. The symbol of Ophiuchus, as you can see, is a U with a little squiggle through it. That's a man holding a snake. In ancient times, snakes symbolized knowledge. He's holding it by the head and the tail. That symbolizes the control. So he learned knowledge, he's controlling knowledge, and he's using it to heal himself. And so this is you learning how to heal, learning your own healing modality, learning how to heal your ability to learn, learning how to heal your ability to communicate. Let's see. So do take this time to learn how to heal and use words to heal. Look at your self-talk. I think that's the most powerful thing you can learn in order to help you heal is your self-talk. Learning how to use the knowledge to heal your abilities, to learn to communicate better. That's important. Listen to what you're really saying to yourself. Mercury is also, like I said, about communication. Listen to what you're saying to yourself and about yourself. Learn how to heal that. Very, very important and powerful. The shadow of Mercury is an out of control mind. You either think you know it all or you think you can't learn. And Ophiuchus, this leads to wounding, first to yourself, then of others. So refusing to learn to heal can lead to deeper wounding of yourself and others, or using information to wound to wound others leads to lasting damage. Well, that can be very, very damaging there. Also on Friday, the moon enters Scorpio. Moon, your emotional self, Scorpio, depth. This is taking, this is facing, Scorpio is about depth and about deep truth. So it's facing deep emotional truths about yourself. And we're approaching the new moon, which is going to be on next week, Monday. So this is about releasing things as well. So, facing the deep truths about the things that you need to release in your life and let go because they no longer serve you. It can be a time of intense feelings, You got that favorite pair of jeans that no longer fits you and you got to let them go, but you don't want to. Yeah. I can still fit into jeans that I was wearing in high school. There are people that don't like me because I say that. oh well. It's just the way I've always been skinny. I'm happy like being like that. Um, but this is about, facing those deep truths in life, those deep emotional truths, and being able to release them so that you can go when the moon does enter into Ophiuchus, that you can heal. Failing that, emotional self falling into scorpionic dark moods. I mean, you want to have a bad day to be a bad travel day, Friday. But falling into rotten moods can complicate life more than it needs to be. And trying to cling on to things and not let them go can make you very foul mooded, very foul in moods. So do be careful about that. Whoops. And also, Venus in Capricorn squaring Uranus in retrograde, which is retrograde in Taurus. And so Uranus, let's see, Venus, we talked about Venus in Capricorn. This is the working on your relationships and working on your creativity. And Uranus is about you becoming more of an individual and more authentic. Uranus does rule Aquarius. So that's kind of where that comes from a little bit. But Uranus is about you becoming who you really are, and reflect, are you at peace with who you really are? So are you being your authentic self in your relationships? When you're doing this work, is it authentic to you? Are you being, I think that's that. And is it bringing stability to your relationships? And this is a square, facing those challenges of doing, of being yourself in your relationships and watching your relationships become stronger. So examine the efforts you're putting into relationships and creativity. See if they're strengthening both, either one or both of them. Take time to reflect to see if you're being authentic as well. Are you really being you? That's going to be important. Now, the shadow. We did talk about how Venus can be slick and manipulative. And in Capricorn is a bit of a control freak. The shadow of Uranus, you can either sell out and try to fit in, or you can act out and try to get a reaction from people. Selling out to fit in is the lazy way out, and acting out, trying to get a reaction, is that proverbial bull in a china shop. And in this square, that is high pressure. So you're trying to control and manipulate relationships, and it's just not working. And you're trying to do things to fit in, it's not going to. You're trying to push people's buttons, it's just going to make things worse. And that's going to be all weekend. Yeah, all the New Year's parties and late Christmas parties. Ick. And finally, Mars in Cancer, sextiling the South Node in Virgo. Mars in Cancer. Mars is still retrograde. Why did I not have that in that one slide? I have to go correct that later. Oh, Mars Cancer. Are you taking the time to? Mars is having the courage in Cancer to take care of yourself. South Node and Virgo are these past practices, the old ways of doing things, and it's no longer serving you. It's no longer nurturing you. And are you willing and have the strength to release those old ways so that you can find new ways? That will be when Mars is in a trine to the North Node. But right now, you got to clean out the house before you can bring in new furniture. And that's literally what this is about. A little house cleaning, letting go of things so that you can bring in the new. Do you have the strength and the courage to take care of yourself and to release those old habits and patterns? Great for New Year's resolutions. And let's see, what do I have here? Have the courage to examine past patterns of self-care and expectations so they can be released and new habits brought in that can bring healing faster. Be realistic in your expectations. Remember to take breaks when needed. Cancer, taking a break, definitely, because that's self-care. The shadow of Mars is fear. It can be anger or cowardice, and anger is being swiping at people, and crabs have those pincers, and I'll tell you, they can really zinger you. Or it can fall into fear and hide in that shell. And the South Node is just clinging onto those past patterns. You don't want to change. You don't want to let go. And within Virgo, Virgo can be a control freak, but it can be bitter. It can be pessimist. It can feel like things are, why try? I think that's what I have here. Self-criticism, self-punishment, sense of impossibility. Why bother trying? You're not going to succeed anyways. So just why bother trying and just hiding in your shell or being defensive and not wanting to change. Let's see. Clinging to the past strongly can have you feeling defensive and fighting for more control over situations. Unrealistic expectations to lead to more struggles and are more exhausting than nurturing. Saturday, you may feel a little stuck in your healing journey because Chiron is going station direct. Yay, joys. And in Pisces, it's being present. Pisces can also symbolize spirituality in your spiritual path. So this is you getting ready to move forward, being present, being in the moment, and looking at your spiritual life as well and healing that and releasing these wounds. So take time to pause on how you're healing and releasing wounds. Being in the moment between the past and the future, be in the moment and accept between the past and the future and accept where you are in this part of your healing journey. So I think that's very important because this is you healing yourself. Your healing journey is a very important part of who you are. Now, the shadow of Chiron is wounding, and it's either refusing to heal or just causing deeper wounds. And in Pisces, you're trying to numb the pain, hide from the pain, whatever. Denying the injury, denying the pain. So that's a horrific shadow. So falling into fantasy or denial about your ability to heal can lead to you becoming lost in wounds or wounding others and not healing, wounding yourself and not healing. I think this is more about yourself than other people, but yeah, I'm gonna go with that. So there we go. And finally on Saturday, the moon and this is how did world did I miss that? Why did I grab Mercury entering Ophiuchus? I apologize. We have the moon entering Ophiuchus on Saturday. No. We have the moon entering Ophiuchus on Saturday. And for some reason, I clicked on Ophiuchus on Mercury, and I didn't catch that in rehearsal. Gosh, my bad. There we go. That's okay, because the moon is like right there anyways. So you have the moon, your emotional self. This also can be your soul. And Ophiuchus is healing. So it's learning to heal your emotional self over the weekend. So healing emotional wounds and learning to heal and learning how you can heal and being present with healers. Very, very important. So taking time to heal yourself, practicing forgiveness and releasing emotional wounds can be very restorative. I think that'd be very important. The shadow, we know how the moon is moody. And in Ophiuchus, that can lead to wounds. And the first person you wound is yourself and then others around you. So be very careful there. So clinging to emotional injuries or playing the victim can deepen the injuries to yourself and others. Ick. And finally, on Sunday, the moon enters Sagittarius. And again, your emotional self. Sagittarius is learning to have faith and trust in yourself, getting up, going out, and exploring. And we're approaching the sun. You can kind of see it there. So we're getting, Monday will be the new moon. So you're releasing the things, you're releasing the blocks to you having faith and trust in yourself. What is causing you not to trust yourself emotionally? And you're getting ready to release that. So release old ideas and be ready to explore new beliefs and ideas that are more suited to you. Expect opportunities to appear and embrace them when they do appear. Yay! The shadow, we all know the moon, I say, is moodiness. And in Sagittarius, it can be either over or under confident. Saying the past because it worked can leave you feeling hopeless about your situation in life or thinking that you know it all and being overconfident can lead to mistakes as well. So be very careful about that. And a quick plug here, I get exactly zero for this. I do this just because I think it's a great idea. My friend Rio Larmon, she's out of Canada, makes a true sidereal planner. So this is a calendar based on true sidereal astrology or constellational astrology. That's her link tree. It's available in PDF. I know we're really close to the end of the year, so you can get an electronic format and just download it and print it off as you need it. Or she now has a print version of it that's nicely bound. Um, and with the Canada Post strike over, hey, we can get our post again, eh? Okay, I joke about the Canadians, but honestly, they're some really cool people up there, and they may have some great musicians. And really, where would we be without Tim Hortons coffee and Canadian beer? People who like that. But it's available, and she's got goal setting in there. She's just got a lot in there. She has the moon, the lunar cycles all planned out, really powerful. Do follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. These places here are making billions of dollars off of your data, and you're not getting much of anything at all. Digital Soul Space is another place that you can go for spiritual learning, etc. And there are many different modalities, not just astrology. There's crystals, oracle decks, tarot, all sorts of different divination practices, and also spiritual traditions. We have Gnostics. We have people. I think there's some people practicing Kabbalah on there, or Kabbalah, or however you pronounce it. Native American traditions, Celtic faith, you name it, it's on there. Witchcraft, Wicca, really cool. Site reminder, readings and practices, and I probably forgot to pull that up. Yes, I did. So I'm not going to. If you do go on my page, my page of freedomthroughastrology.com, the main page, giving you the keys. Key number one, understand your horoscope. That's your birth chart. That's who you came here to become. The second key that I offer is your past life reading, where I read the South Node and the North Node, and I can tell you the South Node is a past life you came here to release, and the North Node is how you do that so that you can heal and move on in your life. And then the other keys that I offer, that second set of keys, these are the actual horoscopes, and I do yearly, quarterly, I do monthly. And the monthly I like to do, the quarterly could be any 3 month block. Quarterly, or not quarterly, monthly I like to do new moon to new moon, because that's the natural cycle. But if you want me to do from the first of the month to the last of the month, I can do that as well. But I do offer those. I do offer packages, and the packages are different levels of readings that have a 10% discount built in. Yeah, this has been my week. I have 2 more days left at this career that I'm working, or this job that I'm working at, and then next week, Monday, I start a new career, and that's going to give me the opportunity. I'll be using this weekend to catch up on readings that I owe people. And if I do owe you a reading, I'm giving you a bonus. Yeah. But do like, follow, share, sign up for my newsletter. I send out a newsletter once a week that gives you the updates, etc. Thank you very much. And remember, in the visible sky, your life changes. Have yourself the best week possible. Thank you.